Thank you to everybody. It's a tremendous honor for me to be here. As Jay pointed out, I, along with two of the partners in this room, Schooler, represented by Doug Grennan, and DeLong Company with Bo, initiated the containerized bulk grain market with Maersk back in 2002, 2003. It's been a tremendous success for Maersk. I view it kind of as my baby, and like all proud parents, we want to see it grow in a healthy fashion. So we appreciate your support. What I'll start off with here is a little bit of information on the A.P. Moller Maersk Company. Maersk Line is a worldwide organization with about 120,000 employees in about 130 countries, with global headquarters in Copenhagen. We are involved in a wide range of activities with energy, shipping, shipbuilding, retail, and manufacturing industries. Maersk Line is the core lining or shipping activity of the A.P. Moller Maersk Group and the leading container shipping company in the world. The Maersk Line fleet consists of more than 470 container vessels with a capacity of more than 1.8 million TEU, ensures reliable and comprehensive coverage worldwide. The extensive network of feeder vessels, trucks, dedicated trains allows for a unique concept of door-to-door service. Advanced e-commerce solutions assure customers the round-the-clock access of accurate online information and the position of any given container anywhere in the world. Maersk has spent an awful lot of money on the e-commerce technologies over the past 5 or 6 years, and we believe that it's probably one of the best products in the industry, and our customers seem to love it. Maersk Line serves our customers through a network of its own offices and third-party agents in more than 125 countries, ensuring high-quality services worldwide. We're here to talk about North American export and import. This is a little history on what we're seeing here. The U.S. has had a very large trade imbalance. At one point back in the late 1990s, I believe it was about almost a 4-to-1 import versus export ratio. That meant that a lot of the equipment that came into the U.S., garments, furniture, tools, everything else, ended up going back out empty or used for waste paper, metal scraps, grains, plastics, dried fruits and nuts, rice, beef, poultry, machinery, chemicals, autos, and one of my favorites, wine. Then came grains, soybeans, wheat, corn, and DDGs. Boy, it's almost hard to get one of the DDGs into a presentation as it is to get out of a rail car, Humbo. Efficiencies afforded by containerized grain. Mr. Grennan did a very good job yesterday going over most of this, so you've probably already seen most of what's contained here, but these are some of the benefits that are afforded by containerization. No large cash outlay for a vessel. We can handle anything from 1 container shipments up to as many containers as we can get our hands on for your product. Containers move the product from origin to destination with substantially less handling, and it results in a much better product at destination when it's delivered to you. Again, Doug did a pretty good job of this yesterday, but the way this works is you've got the product that comes out of the fields, it goes to the transload facilities, loaded into containers, it's put on the train mainly from the Chicago area that goes directly from Chicago to our port in Los Angeles. A.P. Moller Maersk operates APM Terminals, our terminal division, operates APMT Pier 400, which is the largest ocean terminal in the world. Quite an engineering marvel. It's just shy of a 500-acre island that Maersk built out on the Pacific Ocean off of San Pedro. These trains come directly onto our terminal, get loaded off the train on our terminal directly onto the ships, and then delivered to you. It's easier to guarantee identity preserved grains. I mean, you can buy, much easier to make sure that your product is coming from one origin versus break bulk. Recently, strengthening U.S. exports in a multitude of markets, including but not limited to scrap products, building materials, and now grain. We saw a pretty big rush of exports from the U.S. in 2007, 2008, until the industry realized never-seen-before growth contraction from September 2008 through April 2009. This is the period where I believe break bulk freight rates dropped at approximately 85% of what they were previously. When you're shipping one break bulk ship from an origin to destination, it's much different than a containerized carrier where we might have 5 or 6 ships in a string. So it's much harder for us to react to pricing changes in the industry. The slowing global economy equates to less cargo moving and less capacity. Recent excess break bulk capacity results in the break bulk rates falling approximately 85%. Slowing U.S. imports put further strain on available empty import equipment into the U.S. locations. Containerized carriers began to withdraw vessel capacity in an effort to stop the bleeding of large operational cost losses. January 1st of 2009, I believe there were 2 substantial size container vessels that were put at anchor or mothballed. As recently as about a month ago, I believe that number has reached 500 containers, vessels sitting in idle, which has taken out over 1.2 million TEU of capacity globally in the containerized market. So the availability of equipment globally is getting tighter. The market that everybody's been talking about, the economic factors, has resulted in a very steep decline in imports into the U.S. As you can see here, the China Daily in March said that exports down 25.7% year on year just for the first part of this year. What that means is where we once had up to 2,000 containers a week in, say, Chicago alone for exports, we now have approximately anywhere from 600 to 1,000 containers. That's putting a lot more pressure for the shippers trying to get these containers for exports, and the competition ranges from a myriad of different industries. We are a shipping and a terminal company. Any movement beyond shipping in the terminals adds cost. One of the biggest costs that we have there is the railroads. About 2.5 years ago, the BNSF, Burlington Northern Santa Fe, which is the largest rail carrier in the United States, came to Maersk and said, we're going to be raising your rates approximately 50%. And we said, we can't take that. And they said, you have no choice. So we went out to all the shippers, everything from the Walmarts and Home Depots down to the mom and pop shippers, and said, railroads are coming to us and saying that we're going to increase our rates, your rates, 50% to get it from Chicago to Los Angeles. Shippers told us, we can't take that. We told the railroads again, we can't take that, the shippers can't take that. The railroad said, tough. So this is our famous, what we call the spiderweb slide. These are the rail services that Maersk used to offer before this contractual change with the BNSF. So you can see there was over, I think, 50,000 different rail routes that we could take across the U.S., coming in from any part, going to basically any part. Well, because of that increase, nobody willing to able to pay for it, we're not going to subsidize it. This is now what the network looks like. We eliminated a lot of the origins, close to 2/3 of the inland origins. Kansas City, which is a pretty substantial agricultural origin, I think it's second behind Chicago, is no longer served by Maersk. And one of the funny things is, again, going back when we were talking to our large importers and exporters, but mainly the importers, saying that, again, because of these increases, if you're not going to be able to pay for it, we're not going to be able to pay for it, we're going to have to eliminate services from these origins. Kansas City is an example. There was one shipper that said, we can't afford to pay another penny for rates into Kansas City. After we pulled the service, they said, wait, you can't do that, raise our rates. And it was like, well, we were trying to get that from you earlier. And the amount of money that they were willing to pay to keep the service into Kansas City was pretty substantial. Told us that we weren't charging enough for our